Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you on a subject that is rarely discussed openly, yet it silently shapes destinies, delays greatness, and destroys futures. The title of this message is Beware of Your Friends. Now, let me be clear from the beginning, this is not a message against friendship. Friendship is powerful, but friendship can heal, build, strengthen, and uplift. But friendship, when misunderstood, can also distract, delay, and destroy. Not every enemy comes with a weapon, and not every danger announces itself with hatred. Some dangers come smiling, laughing, eating at your table, and calling you my friend. And the first thing you must understand is this: not everyone who smiles at you supports you. Some people clap when you start, but grow silent when you succeed. Some people celebrate your ideas, but feel threatened by your execution. A friend may love who you are today, but secretly fear who you are becoming. One of the most important truths you must understand in life is that a smile is not proof of loyalty. A friendly face does not automatically mean a faithful heart. Some people smile at you because it benefits them, not because they believe in you. They enjoy your presence, your energy, your resources, or your influence, but they are not committed to your growth or your success. Support is deeper than words and facial expressions. Real support is revealed in consistency, honesty, and sacrifice. Many people will encourage you when your dreams are small, when your goals sound safe, and when your progress does not threaten their position. But the moment you begin to rise, the moment your confidence increases, the moment your life starts moving in a different direction, those same smiles can change. The applause becomes quieter, the excitement becomes forced, and the conversations begin to shift. Some friends are comfortable with you as long as you remain on their level. They enjoy the version of you that does not challenge them. When you start to think bigger, act bolder, or move differently, they may still smile, but their heart is no longer aligned with your journey. They may begin to question your decisions, downplay your achievements, or subtly remind you of your past mistakes, not to help you, but to keep you familiar and controllable. There are also those who smile while silently competing with you. They celebrate you publicly, but compare themselves privately. They watch your progress closely, not to learn, but to measure themselves against you. When you struggle, they feel relief. When you succeed, they feel pressure. Their smile hides insecurity, and their encouragement hides discomfort. This is why discernment is critical. You cannot judge loyalty by louder compliments or how long someone has been around. Time does not equal trust, and friendliness does not equal faithfulness. Some people are near you for access, not alignment. They want to be close enough to benefit from your journey without contributing to it. Pay attention to patterns, not performances. Watch how people react when you talk about growth, discipline, and change. Observe whether they push you forward or pull you back into old habits. Listen carefully to what they say when you are not winning yet and what they say when you finally do. Smiles are easy. Support requires courage. True friends are not threatened by your elevation. They are strengthened by it. They do not just smile at your dreams. They stand with you when the dream demands sacrifice, discomfort, and change. Whether you realize it or not, your life is constantly being shaped by the people you spend the most time with. Direction is not always changed by one big decision. More often, it is altered by daily conversations, repeated habits, and subtle influences. Friends play a powerful role in this process. They may not control your choices, but they heavily influence the environment in which those choices are made. Every friend carries a mindset, a perspective, and a set of values. When you consistently surround yourself with certain people, their thinking begins to affect your own. If your friends think small, complain often, and avoid responsibility, that mentality slowly becomes normal to you. Over time, what once felt unacceptable starts to feel reasonable. What once felt temporary starts to feel permanent. Friends influence direction through language. The words they use shape how you interpret life. If your circle constantly speaks fear, doubt, and limitation, you will begin to question your own abilities. If they mock discipline, vision, and ambition, you may slowly feel embarrassed about your goals. Without realizing it, you start adjusting your dreams to fit the comfort level of your circle. They also influence direction through behavior. When your friends normalize lateness, excuses, unhealthy habits, or lack of focus, it becomes easier for you to do the same. You may still desire success, but your daily actions no longer support it. You are not moving backward aggressively. You are drifting, and drifting is often more dangerous than failure because it feels harmless. On the other hand, the right friends can sharpen your focus and strengthen your resolve. Friends who value growth challenge you without attacking you. They ask hard questions, hold you accountable, and refuse to let you settle. Their presence pushes you to think higher, work harder, and believe deeper. Being around them stretches you, sometimes uncomfortably, but always purposefully. Direction is also influenced by what friends celebrate. If your circle celebrates progress, integrity, and perseverance, you will naturally pursue those things. If they celebrate shortcuts, drama, and attention, you will slowly chase the same rewards. What is applauded in your circle will eventually be pursued in your life. This is why you must be intentional about who walks with you. Friends do not just walk beside you, they help decide where the road leads. Even when they mean well, their influence can pull you off course if their values do not align with your purpose. Direction is too important to leave in the hands of chance relationships. Comfort is one of the most deceptive forces in relationships, especially friendships. At first, comfort feels like safety. It feels like acceptance, familiarity, and ease. Friends who make you comfortable often make you feel understood and relaxed. But if you are not careful, that same comfort can slowly become a cage that limits your growth and restricts your potential. Friends who are too comfortable with you may stop challenging you. They know your habits, your weaknesses, and your excuses, and instead of pushing you beyond them, they learn to work around them. They laugh when you procrastinate. They excuse your lack of discipline. They normalize behaviors that should be confronted. Over time, you stop seeing these patterns as problems because everyone around you treats them as normal. Comfort also reduces urgency. When your friends are satisfied with where they are, there is little pressure to improve. You may have big dreams, but being surrounded by comfortable people slowly dulls your hunger. There is no fire in the room, no expectation to stretch, no accountability to grow. The environment becomes relaxed, but your progress becomes delayed. Another danger of comfort is emotional dependency. Friends can make you so comfortable that you begin to fear discomfort. You avoid new environments, new challenges, and new relationships because they require change. You stay where you are known even if it no longer serves your future. The cage is not locked from the outside. It is locked from the inside by a fear of leaving what feels familiar. Comfort can also distort truth. Friends who want to keep things easy may avoid hard conversations. They choose peace over progress. Instead of telling you what you need to hear, they tell you what you want to hear. Over time, honesty is replaced with agreement, and growth is replaced with routine. In comfortable circles, ambition can feel awkward, discipline can feel extreme, change can feel like betrayal. The moment you begin to break out of old patterns, you may feel resistance, not because you are wrong, but because your growth disrupts the comfort of the group. The most dangerous part of comfort is that it does not feel dangerous. There is no warning sign, no immediate pain, no obvious loss. Life simply slows down. Dreams take longer. Potential remains unused. Years pass, and you wonder why you are stuck, not realizing that the cage was built with soft conversations, familiar laughter, and unchallenged routines. Comfort is good for rest, but it is deadly when it becomes a lifestyle. Friends should be a place of strength, not a place of stagnation. There are people who are excited about what you could become, but uncomfortable with what you are actually becoming. They love talking about your ideas, your dreams, and your future because potential is safe. It does not demand comparison, change, or adjustment. Potential allows everyone to stay comfortable while imagining success without confronting reality. These friends cheer when you talk about plans, visions, and possibilities. They encourage you while everything is still theoretical. But the moment your potential begins to turn into progress, their attitude subtly shifts. When your plans become action, when your dreams become results, and when your ideas begin to produce visible outcomes, the energy changes. The conversations become shorter, the excitement fades, the support becomes conditional. Progress exposes reality. It reveals effort, discipline, and consistency. It also reveals differences. When you start moving forward, it forces others to confront where they are standing still. Some friends are not prepared for that confrontation. Instead of growing with you, they grow uncomfortable around you. These friends may begin to minimize your achievements. They call your progress luck instead of hard work. They say anyone could do that, even though they haven't. They may remind you of who you used to be, not to keep you grounded, but to keep you familiar. Their goal is not always to stop you, but to slow you down enough to feel equal again. Another sign is subtle withdrawal. They stop asking about your journey. They avoid conversations about growth. They are present physically, but disconnected emotionally. They were enthusiastic when your success was a concept, but distant when it became a reality. This happens because potential does not threaten anyone. Progress does. Potential does not require others to change. A progress forces comparison, and not everyone is ready to face that comparison honestly. Some friends want to be associated with your dreams, but not challenged by your discipline. They like the inspiration you provide, but struggle with the standards you represent. Your progress becomes a mirror they did not ask to look into. This is why discernment is essential. Not everyone who supports your vision will support your execution. Not everyone who believes in your future will celebrate your present growth. Understanding this helps you move forward without resentment, confusion, or unnecessary explanations. Progress will always reveal who was excited about your journey and who was only comfortable with your potential. Jealousy is rarely loud or obvious, especially among friends. It does not always show up as open criticism or direct opposition. More often, it disguises itself in humor, concern, and unsolicited advice. This makes it dangerous because when jealousy is wrapped in laughter or care, it is easy to overlook and even easier to accept. A jealous friend may joke about your goals, your discipline, or your confidence. The comments sound playful, but they carry a subtle sting. They laugh when you talk about your dreams, make light of your efforts, or tease you for taking yourself seriously. Over time, these jokes can chip away at your belief, making you question whether you are doing too much or aiming too high. Jealousy also hides behind advice that sounds wise but is rooted in fear or insecurity. Statements like, "Don't rush it, you're changing," or "Be careful. People like us don't usually make it that far," may sound protective, but they can be limiting. Instead of encouraging growth, they plant doubt. Instead of pushing you forward, they urge you to slow down so no one feels left behind. These friends may constantly remind you of risks, but rarely speak about possibilities. They highlight what could go wrong while ignoring what could go right. Their advice feels heavy, not empowering. It leaves you cautious instead of confident, hesitant instead of hopeful. Another sign of hidden jealousy is comparison disguised as concern. They ask questions not to understand, but to measure themselves against you. They keep track of your progress, not to celebrate it, but to see where they stand. When you succeed, they change the subject. When you struggle, they suddenly become very engaged. Because jealousy wears a friendly mask, it is often given too much access. You trust it. You listen to it. You let it shape your decisions. But over time, you notice a pattern. After certain conversations, you feel smaller, slower, and less motivated. Jealousy does not always want what you have. Sometimes it simply does not want you to surpass it. And when it cannot stop you openly, it tries to slow you down quietly. This is why you must weigh advice, not just receive it. Every voice does not deserve equal influence, even if it comes from someone close. The source of advice matters as much as the advice itself. One of the most subtle dangers in friendship is when people become so familiar with your flaws that they stop challenging them. At first, this feels like acceptance. You feel understood, unjudged, and comfortable. But over time, what feels like grace can quietly turn into permission to remain the same. My friends who normalize your weaknesses often do it unintentionally. They know your struggles, your habits, and your patterns, and instead of helping you overcome them, they adjust to them. If you are always late, they plan around. If you avoid responsibility, they make excuses for you. If you lack discipline, they laugh it off and say, that's just how you are. Slowly, your weaknesses stop feeling like issues that need work and start feeling like personality traits that cannot change. This kind of normalization lowers your internal standards. When no one expects more from you, you stop expecting more from yourself. You begin to measure your behavior against your circle instead of your potential. As long as everyone around you is doing the same or worse, you feel justified in staying where you are. Friends can also normalize emotional weaknesses. They may validate every reaction without encouraging reflection. They agree with you even when you are wrong. They take your side without asking whether you need to grow. While support is important, constant validation without correction can trap you in unhealthy patterns of thinking and reacting. When weaknesses are normalized, growth becomes optional. Discipline feels extreme. Change feels unnecessary. Anyone who challenges you begins to look negative or unsupportive, even if they are telling the truth. You start protecting your comfort instead of pursuing your development. Another danger is that normalized weaknesses often spread. What one person tolerates becomes the group standard. Excuses multiply. Accountability disappears. The group becomes a safe place to stay stuck rather than a strong place to grow. True friends do not just accept you as you are, they also believe in who you can become. They create an environment where growth is expected, not avoided. They offer patience without enabling stagnation and understanding without lowering the standard. When friends normalize your weaknesses, they may love you, but love without challenge can quietly delay your destiny. Familiarity creates comfort, and comfort, when left unchecked, can quietly erase accountability. When friends know you for a long time, they become accustomed to your patterns, your excuses, and even your failures. What once would have been corrected or questioned slowly becomes accepted as just the way you are. In the early stages of a relationship, people tend to hold each other to higher standards. There is respect, attentiveness, and a desire to present the best version of oneself. But as familiarity grows, expectations often drop. Friends stop challenging behaviors that are unproductive because it feels awkward, unnecessary, or disruptive to the relationship. Confrontation is replaced with tolerance. When accountability disappears, progress slows. Friends may see you making the same mistakes repeatedly, but choose silence over honesty. They do not want to offend you, argue with you, or risk tension. Over time, their silence communicates approval, even when your choices are hurting your future. Familiarity also creates assumptions. Friends believe they already know your limits, your capabilities, and your patterns. Instead of pushing you to break barriers, they unconsciously confine you within the version of you they are used to. They remember who you were at your weakest moments and expect you to remain there. Another danger is mutual complacency. When everyone in the group is familiar with each other's shortcomings, no one feels qualified to speak up. Accountability becomes a shared responsibility that no one takes. The group becomes a place of understanding without correction and empathy without growth. Familiarity can also make discipline seem unnecessary. Friends may joke about your lack of consistency instead of confronting it. They may excuse missed opportunities opportunities instead of asking hard questions. Over time, accountability feels foreign, even uncomfortable. The absence of accountability is not always intentional, but its effects are real. Without someone willing to challenge you, you begin to justify your own behavior. You explain away missed goals, delayed dreams, and repeated mistakes because no one is holding you to a higher standard. True accountability requires courage, and familiarity often weakens that courage. But growth demands people who care more about your future than your comfort, even when they know you well. A vision requires energy, clarity, and belief. It must be protected because it is fragile, especially in its early stages. The wrong friends may not attack your vision directly, but they slowly drain it through constant distraction, negativity, and lack of alignment. You do not lose vision overnight. It fades gradually when surrounded by the wrong influences. Wrong friends often have no clear direction of their own. Their lives are driven by routine, reaction, or survival rather than purpose. When you spend time with them, conversations rarely revolve around growth goals or progress. Instead, they focus on problems, gossip, entertainment, or past failures. After being around them, you feel mentally tired rather than inspired. These friends drain your vision by pulling your attention away from what matters. They fill your time with activities that feel busy but produce nothing meaningful. Hours are spent talking, planning, and reacting, but little is accomplished. Your vision becomes something you think about rather than something you actively pursue. Another way vision is drained is through constant negativity. Wrong friends highlight obstacles more than opportunities. They remind you why something is difficult instead of why it is possible. Over time, their doubt becomes your inner voice. You start questioning yourself not because you lack ability, but because you lack reinforcement. Misalignment is also dangerous. Even good people can be wrong friends if their values, priorities, and pace do not match your purpose. When your circle moves slowly while your vision requires urgency, you are forced to choose between loyalty and momentum. Staying too long can cost you clarity. Wrong friends may also mock or misunderstand your focus. They see your dedication as obsession and your discipline as unnecessary pressure. Instead of protecting your vision, they trivialize it. This makes you hesitant to speak about your goals, and silence weakens vision. The most damaging part is that draining vision feels subtle. There is no argument, no betrayal, no clear conflict. You simply notice that your fire is lower, your clarity is weaker, and your urgency is gone. Vision thrives in environments that nurture it. When surrounded by the wrong friends, vision does not die from attack. It fades from neglect. Identity is not formed in one moment. It is shaped gradually through influence, repetition, and environment. Friends play a powerful role in this process because they are close enough to affect you subtly. Without realizing it, you begin to adapt to fit the culture of your circle, adjusting who you are to belong. You start by adopting their language. The way they talk becomes the way you talk. Their humor becomes your humor. Their complaints become your perspective. What they criticize, you begin to criticize. What they tolerate, you begin to tolerate. Over time, these small changes accumulate and begin to redefine how you see yourself. Friends also shape identity through expectations. When people around you expect little, you unconsciously lower your own expectations. If they see you as careless, inconsistent, or average, you may slowly start living up to that image. It becomes easier to match what is expected than to fight against it. Identity is also shaped by comparison. In certain circles, you may become the ambitious one, the smart one, or the reckless one. These labels may seem harmless, but when repeated, they can trap you in a role. You begin to perform an identity instead of developing one. Another subtle influence is behavior adjustment. You may hide parts of yourself to avoid judgment or discomfort. You stop sharing big ideas because they are not received well. You tone down discipline because it makes others uncomfortable. Slowly, you become a reduced version of yourself, shaped by the comfort level of your friends. And friends also influence what you believe is possible. If no one around you has attempted something greater, you may subconsciously believe it is unrealistic. Your identity shifts from "I can" to "people like us don't." This mindset is powerful and limiting. The danger is that this shaping happens quietly. There is no warning sign, no dramatic moment. One day you realize you no longer recognize the person you were becoming, not because you failed, but because you adapted too much. Identity should be built on purpose and values, not pressure and proximity. But without awareness, friends can shape who you become long before you choose it consciously. Loyalty is a virtue praised in every culture, celebrated as a mark of character and integrity. But like any virtue, loyalty can be misapplied. When loyalty to friends, relationships, or a group starts to interfere with your personal growth or your calling, it is no longer a virtue. It becomes a chain. True loyalty should never require you to compromise your purpose. Many people confuse loyalty with staying, even when staying is harmful. They remain attached to friends who do not support their dreams, who criticize their growth, or who subtly hold them back. They tolerate negativity, distraction, or stagnation because they feel obligated to be faithful or loyal. In doing so, they sacrifice progress for the comfort of familiarity. Some friends expect loyalty as a way to control you. They demand agreement, silence, or shared mediocrity. They may frame it as support or being a true friend, but in reality, they are asking you to put their comfort above your destiny. If you protect the friendship temporarily, but you compromise your purpose permanently. Loyalty should be reciprocal. It should enhance parties both ways and encourage growth and not limit it. True friends challenge you, confront you, and sometimes even upset you. But their intention is aligned with your development. When staying loyal costs you discipline, vision, or opportunity, it is not loyalty, it is fear disguised as virtue. Many people also confuse guilt with loyalty. They feel bad leaving a friendship, disappointing a friend, or making a change that others might not like. This guilt can keep you tethered to environments that are counterproductive, draining your energy and delaying your progress. Purpose demands courage, not guilt-based obedience. Another dimension of this is time and attention. Being loyal to friends who do not respect your vision can steal your focus. Every moment spent trying to maintain appearances, soothe the discomfort, or manage expectations is a moment not spent building your future. Loyalty should not drain your energy. It should reinforce it. Finally, loyalty must always serve your greater calling. Friends who love you will not demand your compromise. They will celebrate your progress, even if it takes you away from the familiar. They will understand that true friendship respects purpose above convenience. In contrast, friendships that require you to give up your dreams are not loyal, they are limited, and following them blindly can cost you everything you were meant to achieve. Both true care that both in you and in your friends is revealed not during times of comfort, but during times of difficulty. When life is smooth, everyone can smile, laugh, and celebrate. It's easy to have friends when there's no pressure, no risk, and no demand. But when storms come, when challenges test your faith, your vision, or your resilience, that is when you see who truly stands with you. Difficult seasons are a test of loyalty and intention and integrity. Some friends will suddenly disappear when you need them most. They were present when life was easy, but their support evaporates the moment circumstances become uncomfortable. These are the friends who liked your success more than your struggle, who enjoyed your victories more than your process. Others may stay physically close, but emotionally distant. They offer words that sound comforting, but lack action. They say, "I'm here for you," but they avoid involvement, confrontation, or accountability. Their friendship is convenient, not committed. Difficult seasons require effort, courage, and sometimes sacrifice, and only those willing to give these truly reveal themselves. Some friends will even grow resentful in your difficult times. Your struggles may expose their own insecurities or impatience. Instead of supporting you, they may subtly blame, criticize, or compete with you. They make your challenges about them, turning your need for support into an uncomfortable spotlight on their limitations. Conversely, the right friends shine brightest in your challenges. They do not avoid the hard conversations or difficult moments. They stand beside you, offering honest feedback, practical help, and unwavering encouragement. They remind you of your strengths when doubt creeps in, and help you see solutions when the weight of the problem feels unbearable. Difficult seasons also reveal patterns of loyalty over time. A friend who consistently disappears when hardship arises is not necessarily evil. They may be unprepared, weak, or self-focused, but their absence is a reality you must acknowledge. Recognizing this early prevents wasted energy on people who cannot support your journey when it matters most. It is during storms that you also learn who truly celebrates your growth. Some friends are happy when life is easy, but when you rise through struggle, they may feel threatened, distant, or jealous. Difficult seasons act as a filter, separating fair weather friendship from those that are intentional and aligned with your purpose. The lesson is clear. Friends reveal their true nature not by what they say in sunny days, but by how they act when the skies are gray. Observing who stands firm, who wavers, and who disappears provide valuable insight into the quality of your relationships. It is not always comfortable to face, but it is essential for preserving your peace, your progress, and your purpose. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to take a moment and reflect on the relationships in your life. A friendship is a gift, powerful force that can uplift, challenge, inspire, but it can also distract, delay, and even derail your destiny if not chosen wisely. Remember, not every smile is loyalty. Not every conversation is encouragement. Not every friend is aligned with your purpose. Some will cheer for your potential, but resent your progress. Some will normalize your weaknesses, drain your vision, and shape your identity without you noticing. Others will disappear when you need them most, or offer advice disguised as concern, hiding jealousy behind humor. But here's the hope. While friends can influence your journey, both positively and negatively, you have the power of discernment. You can choose who walks with you, who challenges you, and who inspires you to become the best version of yourself. You can let loyalty serve your purpose rather than cost it. You can seek those who stand by you in storms, celebrate your progress genuinely, and push you closer to the destiny God has designed for you. Beware of your friends, not with fear, but with wisdom. Choose wisely, protect your vision, guard your identity, and never compromise your purpose for the comfort of familiarity. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher, who speak truth even when it hurts, and who will celebrate your victories without envy. In the end, life will reveal who your true friends are. Let your circle be intentional. Let your friendships reflect growth, integrity, and alignment with your calling. And as you move forward, remember, it's not the number of friends you have that matters. It's the quality of the ones who choose to stand with you through every season of life. Rise above the distractions, protect your heart, and let your life be a testament to the power of surrounding yourself with the right people. Your future depends on it.